Good evening, I'm Gothicus Maximus. In this video I'm going to be addressing the response that's manifesting across the internet to the announcement that in February of 2009 a Friday the 13th remake will be released to theaters throughout the United States. Actually, it's going to be on Friday the 13th of February 2009. Spooky, right? Ooh, yeah, I know. Anyway, many YouTube users have posted videos expressing their distaste for the idea that this classic horror film is going to be remade. And a common trait that I've noticed amongst these videos is an expression of genuine confusion as to why this film is being produced. I can only imagine that such confusion proceeds from a failure to apprehend the purpose of the commercial film industry. While I could see how one might misjudge that purpose to be the creation of good movies, the fact of the matter is that the purpose of the commercial film industry is, first and foremost, to make money for itself. Hollywood conceives of projects not with the best film in mind, but with the best profit in mind. And what can't be argued is that people will go see a Friday the 13th remake. It will make money, and for that reason it will be made. Once this premise has been accepted, the premise that the primary purpose of the commercial film industry is to make money, several other questions that have been circulating around about this movie can pretty easily be answered. People have wondered why this film was trusted to the same director who botched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. The reason for that is that he performed adequately in adapting Texas Chainsaw Massacre for a new generation. He certainly didn't excel, but he was competent. And from a financial standpoint, that's more practical. It's more practical to trust him again than it is to enlist someone who might conceivably be even worse. Also, people have wondered why this film aims to condense 3 parts of the original saga into a single movie. The reason for that is simply that Jason didn't really come into the picture until part 2, and the hockey mask didn't come into play until part 3, and so since when people think of Friday the 13th, they think of Jason in the hockey mask, this movie is invariably going to condense parts 1, 2, and 3. Now, with that all said and out of the way, you guys, I'll say that my personal feelings on this matter, as a fan of the franchise to an extent, and a fan of horror definitely, are mixed. I'm conflicted. Do I think that a Friday the 13th remake is a bad idea in theory? Not entirely. I certainly disagree pretty vehemently with those who have voiced the opinion that creating a remake somehow besmirches the 27-year history of Friday the 13th, or tarnishes its legacy. I mean, what is there really to tarnish there? They made a movie called Jason Goes to Hell. There were 2 final chapters. He fought Carrie. He got stabbed with a metal rod in the chest that got struck by lightning to bring him back to life. I mean, there isn't really that much to, like, insult there. It's kind of doing a pretty good job of that itself, you know? No, actually, I do think that the creation of a remake, probably not this one, but a remake, would be a superb direction for this property to pursue. It would allow us to strip away all this entangling continuity and, wipe the slate clean and forget about all these lower points in this 27-year storied history and really return to form and revert to the core of this premise that was what really made it enjoyable. That core essentially being a guy who drowned and somehow came back chopping up kids at a camp. So, although I have said that a remake is a good idea in theory, or at least a viable one in theory, with that said, I will now say that I'm pretty much convinced this movie is going to suck. Why will it suck? Because it doesn't have to not suck. As I said previously, as I really belabored previously, the primary purpose of the contemporary film industry is not to make good movies, but to make a profit. And this movie will make a profit whether it's good or not. Teenagers, Friday the 13th fans, actually many of the people who created videos protesting this grievous offense stated at the end of those same videos that they would probably see it anyway. Yeah, I'll go see it, but I'm going to hate it. Well, they don't care if you hate it. They only care that they got your cash. If you go to see it, even though you're opposed to this idea, you're in no way punishing them for committing what you perceive to be a mistake. Friday the 13th movies are targeted at a demographic that will go see movies regardless of whether they have a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. They have historically been designed for teenagers who want to go sit in a dark theater while something plays on the screen and they make out with a significant other. The movie doesn't have to be good. Since it doesn't have to be good, the talent and the resources that would need to be tapped to make a good movie simply won't be tapped. And it'll follow the depressing pattern that was first outlined by that abysmal Halloween remake and that abysmal Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And so it will be with the inevitable remake of all the movies that you hold to be dear right now. Blade Runner, it's coming eventually. Chinatown, only a matter of time. So that about resolves that. Thanks for listening to me on this pretty esoteric and uninteresting subject. Please visit my blog, omgabat.com, if you enjoyed this, because then you'll be in heaven. Anyway, once again, thank you, and I bid you good night.